The word I want to speak about is the word disappeared. D-I-S-A-P-P-E-A-R-E-D. In numerous repressive regimes around the world, people have disappeared. But what I want to talk about today, be it in Spanish America, and particularly in terms of Argentina and Chile, which is an area that I know most about, the act of making people disappear has brought a different usage of the word, a transitive use, to disappear people, or to talk about the disappeared. It's not about a gentle disappearance, not being visible, it's about the annihilation of the fact that they even existed. To disappear is, for the traditionalist, and for me, and for any of us, an intransitive verb. You disappear, I disappear. But I've noticed over the last 2 decades or so that the word disappear is being used transitively. For example, the Galtieri regime disappeared 30,000 persons at a rough estimate. Words that derive from disappear, like disappeared, also slip into the position of being nouns. For example, you can often read about the disappeared. Now, when I was younger, I would have been taught not to write the disappeared, rather those who have disappeared. So there is a shortening of language. Is it enriching? Well, I think that we can't even begin to talk about such a phenomenon only linguistically. There are cultural and political reasons. The word to disappear has its equivalent throughout the Western Indo-European system. So the word in Spanish is desaparecer. And in Spanish also, as was the case with to disappear, an intransitive verb, which has also undergone this strange change. Now, what does it mean to disappear? Does it mean just to be out of sight, or has it got a stronger meaning? Well, in the context of those Latin American states, and I'll come on to other European equivalents in a moment, the disappeared were calculatedly made to disappear not only from the face of the earth, in other words, they were murdered, but all records of their ever having existed were removed. So you can't go into the archives and find much about them. The image that evokes this is that of the women walking around the central square in front of the parliament, the palace in Buenos Aires in Argentina, which is called La Casa Rosada, the Pink House, wearing white headscarves, and they were known as Las Madres de la Plaza de Mayo. In English, the mothers of the Plaza de Mayo. They are the mothers and the grandmothers saying, where are our disappeared children? It is estimated that in that regime, which lasted from 1976 with a coup d'etat, with a golpe, with a takeover of the military, until 1982 and the defeat of the regime in a 74-day war by the British task force, that 30,000 persons were made to disappear. So the disappeared would be kidnapped in the middle of the night, they'd be tortured. If they were pregnant, they wouldn't die immediately because the babies would be given to military families in the north of Argentina, or in the south, or in the distant regions. So that nowadays, people of your age are coming out and finding their families because there is, if you like, the exhumation of the past. You can't find the bodies. Why? Because those disappeared were often either buried in unknown graves or, in the case of Argentina, much more subtle, dropped out of helicopters, either still living and drugged or with heavyweights, the concrete boots of Cagney fame. I'm going to give you all concrete boots, that kind of stuff, you know. It's not funny when we think that it's real. That is how to make a person disappear as if that person had never existed. And the children taken away. A soft, gentle word, disappearance with the possibility of reappearance. The ghastliness, and this is why perhaps it's become an active verb in Spanish and now in English, is because that which was passive and recuperable has become very active and almost impossible to do anything about.